Imagine, like an 18-year-old just sitting in their bedroom, they take a quick photo of their lunch, they feed it into a basic AI model, and they build a little app around it.
Right.
And that app is projected to generate $30 million in revenue this year.
It's just wild.
It really is. And the craziest part, that 18-year-old didn't write a single line of traditional code to do it. Because today, the digital economy isn't about, how well you type on a glowing green screen in some dark, isolated room.
No, not at all anymore.
It's entirely about how well you can direct the tools that are literally already out there.
Yeah, it is a complete paradigm shift. I mean, the barriers to entry that used to lock people out, things like knowing Python or understanding really complex syntax or having a 4-year computer science degree, those walls have essentially vanished overnight.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if we look at the landscape right now, especially in Pakistan in 2026, the numbers are absolutely staggering.
They really are.
We're talking about Pakistan's freelance market generating over $3.9 billion in exports. There are more than 3 million remote workers active in the country right now. It is a global digital powerhouse.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge.
And today, we are welcoming you to a deep dive specifically tailored for you, the listener, to navigate this entirely new world. We've got an incredible stack of sources today.
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover.
We do. We're pulling from guides on AI freelancing, local tech training programs, deep academic research on podcasting trends, and even the very gritty, intricate details of navigating international payment gateways in Pakistan.
And our mission for you today is very specific. We are extracting the ultimate hype-free blueprint.
Exactly. No hype.
Right. We're going to look at how you actually learn high-value AI skills, how you market those skills through a medium you honestly might not expect, and crucially, how you actually get that money into your bank account securely.
Because that's the part everyone gets stuck on.
Totally. The goal is for you to walk away empowered with a really clear understanding of the mechanics behind this new economy, rather than just feeling overwhelmed by the sheer volume of noise out there.
So to understand how to actually succeed here, we have to look at the core technology. Artificial intelligence hasn't just gotten a little bit faster. It has fundamentally shifted from being a helper to being a doer.
That is the crucial distinction you really need to understand. We have officially transitioned from the helper era into the autopilot era of 2026.
The autopilot era.
Yeah. Think about how things worked just a few years ago. From roughly 2023 to 2025, you had AI, sure, but you had to basically babysit it.
Right. You'd have to prompt it for every little thing.
Exactly. You'd say, draft an email. Then you'd review it. Then you'd manually say, okay, now send it to John. Then you'd have to physically go into your own calendar and set a reminder.
It was basically a digital assistant that needed constant hand-holding.
Exactly. But in the autopilot era, you are dealing with autonomous agents. You give a high-level command like, handle my email outreach campaign for new clients this week.
And the agent just does the whole sequence.
It does everything. The AI writes the copy, sources the leads, sends the emails, tracks the open rates, replies to the follow-ups, and literally books the meetings directly onto your calendar.
Wow.
Yeah. And because of this end-to-end efficiency, the value of providing these AI services to businesses has absolutely skyrocketed. According to our sources, 49% of all AI service deals currently happening are for over $10,000.
Wait, I have to stop you there. Almost half of all AI service deals are over 10 grand.
Yep.
Help me understand the math there, because if I'm a business owner and I have access to these exact same AI tools for maybe, $20 a month? Why on earth am I paying a freelancer in Pakistan $10,000?
Because you aren't paying for the technology, you are paying for the outcome.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, a business owner is completely overwhelmed by the tech. They're running a dental clinic or a logistics company or an e-commerce brand. They do not have the time to figure out which AI agent connects to which database.
That makes sense.
Right. They don't want AI, they want more customers. And our sources highlight two main paths to providing this value for them: the consultant and the builder.
Let's break those down for the listener.
So the consultant is basically the strategist. They go into a business, look at their messy, slow processes, and design the AI blueprint. They don't even build the tools. They just provide the clarity on what needs to be automated.
Okay, and the builder?
The builder actually constructs those automated systems using no-code tools. And the sources give us 5 highly profitable freelance models for builders right now. First are GPT wrappers.
Which goes back to your 18-year-old example, right? The lunch photo app.
Yes, Kelite. A GPT wrapper is essentially taking a massive foundational model like ChatGPT or Claude and putting a highly specific wrapper or user interface around it.
So you're basically hiding the complicated prompt from the user.
Exactly. You feed the AI a very specific prompt behind the scenes. So the user just uploads a photo and the AI calculates the calories. You wrapped the AI in a specific use case.
That makes perfect sense. You're just removing the friction for the user. What are the other 4 models?
Second is AI marketing and content. But we aren't talking about generating like spammy blog posts here.
Oh, good, because the internet has enough of those.
Seriously. One source details an agency charging dental clinics $2,500 a month. They use AI to completely handle high-level social media strategy, patient newsletters, and highly personalized email sequences.
Wow. And the third model?
Third is AI virtual assistants, building custom bots that handle repetitive tasks like scheduling and initial customer inquiries. You are essentially selling the business owner their time back.
Which is priceless for them. And fourth?
AI educational tools. So imagine you build a custom AI math tutor, but instead of just giving the answers, it adapts to a specific middle schooler's learning style. It recognizes when they get frustrated.
Well, that's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, one creator in the sources sells exactly this for $97 a month and has hundreds of recurring subscribers.
That's amazing. And the last one?
The fifth model is voice AI. Using platforms like 11 Labs, you can clone voices. You can generate audiobooks, run real-time multilingual translations for YouTube videos, or, turn written company blogs into professional podcasts.
Here's where it gets really interesting. With all these models, whether it's the wrapper or the voice cloning, the human's role has completely changed.
How so?
I like to think of it as being the executive chef in a Michelin star restaurant.
Okay, I like that.
The AI is your sous chef. It's doing all the repetitive chopping, the boiling, the prep work. The sources call this the middle layer of work. It's tedious.
Right, the heavy lifting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you, the human listener, you provide the taste. You operate in that top layer of judgment. You know exactly what the customer actually wants to eat.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. The business owner pays the $10,000 because they want the executive chef's menu. They do not care how fast the sous chef can chop an onion. They care that the final dish is going to drive sales and fix their specific bottleneck. You are partnering with the AI to become a superhuman executor.
Okay, so if I'm the listener and I realize I just need that taste and strategic judgment, the immediate problem is, how do I build the kitchen?
Right.
Like, how do I actually learn to use these tools if I don't know how to code, specifically here in Pakistan, without spending 4 years in a university?
Well, the sources map out a very practical, beginner-friendly roadmap. And the best part is traditional coding is entirely optional now. We are officially in the era of what the industry calls vibe coding.
Vibe coding?
Yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like something you do at a music festival. What is the actual mechanism there? How does that work?
I know, the name is funny, but it's a massive shift in human-computer interaction. Instead of learning the syntax of a programming language like Python, you use natural language.
So just talking to it normally.
Yeah. You type plain English into tools like Cursor, Lovable, or N8N. You literally just describe the vibe or the function of what you want.
Can you give an example?
Sure. You just type, I want a web dashboard that tracks my client's sales, uses a blue color scheme, and sends a weekly summary email.
And it just makes it.
The AI translates your plain English into the underlying code, builds the dashboard, and deploys it.
Yeah.
You never even have to look at the code.
That is wild. And you mentioned N8N earlier. I see that name constantly in these tech sources.
Right. N8N is crucial for the builder path. Think of it like digital Lego blocks. It's a visual workspace where you connect different apps together.
Okay.
Our sources actually highlight a local Pakistani success story called the WordBot.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they use these visual tools to build an automated WhatsApp support system. They connected a basic AI to WhatsApp, trained it on company data, and automated the customer service for over 200 companies in Pakistan.
Without writing code.
No traditional coding required, just dragging and dropping logic.
So if a listener wants to learn to build something like the WordBot today, what are the actual on-the-ground resources in Pakistan?
There is an abundance of resources. For totally free, structured learning, the sources point to DigiSkills. They offer a dedicated AI tools for freelancing course.
Oh, nice.
Then there is NAVTTC, which is government-backed, offering highly practical AI and robotics training. You also have Ceylani Mass IT training and the PIAIC programs,
Which have been massive.
Yeah, they have been pivotal in upskilling the youth locally.
What if they have a little bit of money to invest, but, not thousands of dollars?
The sources highly recommend Udemy, but with a very specific strategy. You wait for their discount seasons.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, you can get lifetime access to premium project-based AI courses for just maybe 1,800 to 5,000 Pakistani rupees. Alternatively, Coursera's AI for Everyone by Andrew Ng is a phenomenal startup point that requires absolutely zero technical background.
And the timeline here is incredibly fast, right? The roadmap from the sources isn't years, it's months.
Barely even months, yeah.
You spend 1 to 2 weeks just on the foundation, learning what the AI can actually do. Then you take 1 week to select your path.
Deciding if you want to be the design chef, the HR automation chef, or the marketing chef.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you spend 1 to 3 months building at least 5 specific portfolio projects.
And those projects must solve actual business problems.
Right.
Don't just build a random chatbot. Build an automated resume screening tool for HR teams or an AI-assisted social media content calendar.
And once you have those 5 projects, the sources advise against just throwing your resume into the void.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Apply to skill-based platforms operating in Pakistan, like SearchOpal. They match candidates directly with clients based on the strength of their portfolio rather than where they went to college.
Now, I do want to push back on one thing I see constantly in these roadmaps. Prompt engineering.
Oh.
Everyone says it's the job of the future. But if these AI models are getting smarter, and I can just use vibe coding to talk to them, normally isn't prompt engineering just a buzzword? Is that actually a sustainable career, or is it going to be obsolete in 2 years?
What's fascinating here is that the sources totally validate your skepticism.
Really?
Yeah. Basic prompting, just knowing how to type a clever sentence into ChatGPT, is absolutely going to fade as a standalone job. The models are getting too smart to need perfect phrasing.
Okay, that makes sense.
However, the sustainable skill is business process automation.
How is that different?
Well, basic prompting is asking AI to write an email. Business process automation is using a tool like N8N to connect a client's Shopify store directly to their WhatsApp.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So the exact second a customer buys a pair of shoes, the system automatically pulls the tracking data, feeds it to an AI to write a personalized message in Urdu, and sends it directly to the customer's phone.
Wow.
That isn't just a prompt. That is building a permanent, high-value plumbing system for a business, and that is incredibly sustainable.
All right, so you've learned the vibe coding. You've built the automated Shopify plumbing. You have the skills. But here is the massive wall you hit.
Yep. Finding clients.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are competing against thousands of other freelancers globally. You are essentially invisible. How do you prove to a high-paying client in London or New York that you are the expert they need to hire?
It's the ultimate question.
And the sources point to a highly effective, yet totally surprising medium for building this authority: podcasting.
It seems almost counterintuitive, right? I mean, in an era where everyone is obsessed with 15-second viral TikTok videos, podcasting requires deep, sustained attention.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that is exactly why it is the ultimate authority engine. The sources include a brilliant quantitative study from the Journal of Political Stability Archive. They surveyed 400 Pakistani university students about their media consumption.
What did they find?
They found that these students are listening to podcasts 2 to 3 times a week, primarily on their smartphones via Spotify and YouTube. But the critical mechanism here is why they listen. Their consumption is heavily driven by educational and informational motives. Audio is deeply intimate. You are quite literally in someone's ear for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You cannot fake expertise for 30 minutes.
So if you start a podcast where you simply explain the AI marketing strategies you are building, or you talk through how you automated that Shopify store, you are automatically filtering for an audience that wants to learn
Exactly.
and positioning yourself as the professor.
Precisely. You are building a library of trust. And the sources from Buzzsprout, which is a hosting platform that's analyzed over 300,000 podcasters, along with local production advice from Delenzo Studio in Lahore, give us the exact science of how to do this right.
What's step 1?
First, aim for 20 to 30-minute episodes. That perfectly aligns with the average commute time, which maximizes retention.
And on the visual side, they are very strict about cover art.
Yes.
They say keep it under 4 words, make it 3,000 by 3,000 pixels. The mechanism there is pretty simple, right? People are scrolling on tiny, dark smartphone screens while walking or on a bus.
Yeah.
If they can't read your title in a fraction of a second, they just won't click.
Exactly. But the biggest technical distinction the sources make is about the microphone. This is where beginners waste so much money.
Oh, totally.
They strongly advise against condenser microphones and push you toward dynamic microphones, like the Samson Q2U or the Shure SM7B, which can connect via USB or XLR cables.
Let's explain why, because a lot of people just go to an electronics market in Hafi Center and buy whatever looks like it belongs in a professional studio.
It's so true. It all comes down to how the hardware actually captures sound. A condenser microphone is like a massive floodlight.
It captures absolutely everything.
Everything. The echo bouncing off your bare walls, the ceiling fan, the rickshaw driving down the street outside. Unless you have a perfectly soundproofed, acoustically treated studio, a condenser mic will ruin your audio.
Right.
A dynamic microphone, however, is like a laser pointer. It only captures the exact source of sound directly in front of it.
So if you're recording in your bedroom in Karachi, the dynamic mic rejects the street noise.
Exactly, making your editing process infinitely easier.
A laser pointer versus a floodlight. That is a perfect way to visualize it. Now, regarding the launch strategy, if I'm the listener and I'm using this podcast to market my AI agency, do I need to spend weeks teasing a massive launch campaign?
The sources heavily advise against that. They recommend a soft open.
Like opening a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't invite the city's top food critics on night 1. You invite your friends and family. You serve them the food. You realize the kitchen gets backed up when there are too many orders. You realize the soup is cold.
And you fix those operational bottlenecks quietly.
Exactly.
The restaurant analogy is spot on. The soft open is the ultimate cure for imposter syndrome. You publish your first 3 or 4 episodes quietly. You get comfortable speaking into the dynamic mic. You find your pacing.
You figure out the tech.
Right. You figure out your audio editing software like Audacity, which is free, or Descript, which is amazing because it lets you edit the audio simply by deleting words in a text transcript.
Oh, that's incredible. You literally just delete the text of a mistake and the audio cuts it out.
It's magic. It lowers the barrier entirely. And the rule from the sources is you edit for content first before you edit for distractions.
Meaning what?
Cut out the boring segments before you spend 3 hours trying to remove every single breath or,
That saves so much time.
Yeah. Once you have a few solid episodes and your confidence is up, then you turn on the marketing. You optimize your SEO, you use tags like #podcast in Pakistan, and you submit your RSS feed to Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Okay, so let's zoom out and look at the narrative here.
Sure.
You've done it. You learned vibe coding using DigiSkills.
Yep.
You built your N8N portfolio. You launched a dynamic mic podcast that proves your expertise.
Yeah.
You got a client in London, and they just signed a $10,000 contract for your AI services.
Amazing.
They asked for your payment details, and you suddenly hit a massive brick wall.
The elephant in the room.
Right. You live in Pakistan, and PayPal simply does not operate here. You have all this digital success, but the actual plumbing of global finance is broken for you. Why is that? And more importantly, how do we fix it?
Well, it's a really complex issue tied to the State Bank of Pakistan, the SBP, and strict international anti-money laundering regulations.
Okay.
Because of the regulatory environment, PayPal refuses to take the compliance risk. But the sources are absolutely clear here. This is a hurdle, not a stop sign.
That's reassuring.
There are highly efficient legal workarounds for you to receive your global earnings, but you have to understand the math.
So what does this all mean for the listener? Let's use a concrete example. Let's say that client in London wants to send you $1,000. Let's walk through the exact pipeline of how that money gets into your local bank account in rupees, starting with the industry standard.
The industry standard is Payoneer. Our sources note that roughly 65% of platform workers in Pakistan use it, mostly because it integrates seamlessly into the back end of sites like Upwork or Fiverr.
And it's pretty fast.
Right. Yeah, the money usually arrives in 24 to 72 hours, but it is expensive.
Walk me through the fees on that $1,000.
So with Payoneer, you might pay up to a 3% fee just to receive the money.
So your 1,000 is instantly 970.
Right. Then, when you want to withdraw it to your local Pakistani bank, there is a 2% withdrawal fee.
Ouch. So we are down to 950.
But here is the hidden trap, the currency conversion markup. They might give you an exchange rate that is 2% lower than the actual market rate.
Wow.
Yeah, by the time that $1,000 hits your account, you might have lost $70 or $80 just to the pipeline.
That is brutal. I mean, almost 10% of your hard work just gone. What is the alternative?
For direct clients, meaning you aren't using Upwork, but billing them directly, the rising star mentioned in the sources is Elevate Pay.
I've been hearing a lot about them.
They built this specifically with the Pakistani and emerging markets in mind. If that same client sends $1,000 to Elevate Pay, the withdrawal fees are only about 1 to 1.5%, and they use highly competitive exchange rates.
That's a massive difference.
Plus, they offer dedicated customer support in Urdu. You are keeping significantly more of your money.
What about Wise? I hear that name constantly too.
Wise is fantastic because their mechanism is complete transparency. They give you the exact mid-market exchange rate like the one you actually see on Google. Their fee is flat and upfront.
So what's the catch?
The downside is the friction. It doesn't integrate easily with the big freelance platforms, and it can take 2 to 4 days for the money to actually clear into your account.
What if we go back to that $10,000 AI service deal? Are you using Elevate or Wise for that?
For massive projects, anything over $5,000, the sources recommend a traditional bank wire transfer.
Really? Isn't that slow?
It can be, and yes, it has flat fees ranging from $5 to $30, and Pakistani banks will hit you with a 3 to 5% markup on the exchange rate. But when you are moving large sums, the security of the traditional banking system is worth it.
Okay, I do see crypto mentioned a lot in freelancer forums. Is that viable?
It is happening. Tech-savvy freelancers are using stablecoins like USDT or USDC.
Let's explain stablecoins. Why stable?
Unlike Bitcoin, which can, drop 10% in value while you're asleep, a stablecoin is digitally pegged to the US dollar. 1 USDT equals 1 US dollar.
Oh.
The transfer takes seconds, and the fees are literally pennies. However, the sources warn that this carries significant regulatory uncertainty in Pakistan.
Right.
The government's stance on crypto fluctuates, which adds a whole layer of risk to your business operations.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really comes down to tracking the money. The biggest mistake you can make is just looking at the transfer fee and completely ignoring the currency exchange markup.
Absolutely. You have to optimize your margins.
And speaking of the big picture, we have to impartially state a reality regarding the law here. All foreign remittances coming into Pakistan are monitored by the Federal Board of Revenue, the FBR.
Right.
If you meet the threshold, it is taxable. Staying fully compliant is the only way to protect this digital empire you are building.
Exactly. We are building a sustainable career here, not looking for a quick under-the-table cash grab.
Which brings us to the end of our journey today. Let's recap what we've unpacked for you. You are no longer just a lonely coder typing in the dark. You are the executive chef in the AI autopilot era.
Love that.
You are using free resources like DigiSkills to learn vibe coding, snapping together automated business plumbing like digital Lego blocks. You are launching a highly targeted dynamic mic podcast to cut through the noise and establish undeniable authority.
Yes.
And finally, you are treating your career like a true business by optimizing your international payment pipeline with tools like Elevate Pay, protecting your margins every single step of the way.
It is a complete, actionable blueprint for 2026. I mean, the tools have democratized access, the global demand is massive, and the path is clearly laid out for anyone willing to learn the mechanics.
But before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final brand new thought to mull over. We just spent this entire deep dive talking about two massive trends. First, that AI is now fully capable of acting as an autonomous agent, handling entire projects from start to finish.
Yeah.
And second, that podcasts are the absolute best way to build deep human trust and authority in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So what happens in the very near future when the autonomous AI agents we build start listening to the podcasts we produce in order to learn exactly how to sell to us?
Oh, wow. That raises an incredibly important question about the future of marketing. If AI is absorbing our voices to learn our psychology, the loop of human connection is about to get wildly complicated.
It really is. Suddenly, that lonely coder in the dark room isn't so lonely anymore. They're an executive chef, and their AI sous chef is out there listening to our podcasts. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into these sources. We wish you the absolute best of luck in building your digital empire.